All right, guys, welcome back to the Creative Drip. This week, we are giving you a complete tutorial and rundown of how we created these videos here. Okay, cool. So I'm going to break down everything from the lighting to the setup to the editing, all for you in this video. So if it is something that you are wanting to watch or something that you've just wanted to gain some knowledge from, this is for you. So first off, we filmed here on our stage at the church, House of Blessings. I used a key light, which was our Molus X100 from the brand Zhiyun or Zhiyun. And then over here in the back, if you can see it, I used the GVM as well. Now, the GVM is more of a, I'd say budget-friendly light, whereas the Molus X100 is a little bit more up there, but I will throw down some other lights that are just as good as both of these in the description. And budget-friendly. So positioning. When we were thinking of this kind of setup, God had given me the vision, and I'll go a little bit more into detail about that soon, but God had shown me the exact look that He wanted, and so I just produced it. Started off in the corner over here. I'll throw that B-roll. But it started off with Drew sitting in the corner, had this light on him, just playing around while they were practicing. And when I threw it into the editing software, boom. I thought it looked great. And so I wanted to replicate that here on stage, but with an actual chair and with them singing. So now we're going to take a look at what this looks like with all the lights off and just these two lights on and in position right now. Let's hope I don't hit. Oh, that's a speaker. That's a tripod. Okay. I guess being a creative doesn't come with night vision. I thought I was too. I'm more Spider-Man than Batman. All right, so we have the key light. Usually when people film, they have the key light over here set at around 45 degrees. For this video in particular, I had it pretty much, I guess this is 90 degrees. This is exactly like on the side. And then the back light or the hair light, just kind of a little bit of a distance and around 35%. Man, I am winded I didn't think I was, from running back there and running back up here. Gosh, welcome to being a creative. Okay, so let's check this. All right, you guys can't really see me too much. That's okay. We're going to leave it here for now. I'll pick up the camera and bring it closer later. So for the actual shots, we had 3 chairs up here. 1, 2, 3. And each chair was given a different angle for the light. For April, I believe we started on your left. Your right, my left. And what's great about this light is that it's on wheels. And so I can freely move this light around without having to pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. And so what I did is literally just played around with the positioning of the light until I kind of came, again, right directly next to her. Height of it, I wanted to make sure that the light, if I were on the opposite side, the darker side, I wanted to make sure that it would get a nice silhouette look. So I'm going to grab the camera now and try not to fall or drop it. Yep. There we go. There's Abril. So as you can see, as I move the light, more shadow, less shadow. So it was somewhere around here where we had the light. If I come over to the side, you still have a nice silhouette, hair light in the back, and you can see the hair light filling in here on the actual hair. So this is how we kind of achieved the look. And then I was shooting at 5500 Kelvin at 7% with the Molus X100. And then over here, 34% also at 5500 Kelvin. And so on the YouTube channel, you'll be seeing it in S-Log because I did shoot S-Log, and then I'll Rec 709 it and then show you the color grading process as well. But guys, this is how it was set up for the actual promotion. Thank you for watching. Any questions? Put them in the description or in the oh yes. Oh, well, if you do have any questions, comment them down below and I will answer them either in the comments or in another video. But this is the setup.
Okay, so let's talk vision real quick. It was here in the sound booth that the vision of creating these videos started. The vision wasn't given to me here, but this is where I guess you can say this was the catalyst, was in this sound booth. I was sitting here, we were running practice. I was frustrated, and frustrated to the point that I got really upset with myself. I got upset with the people that were here because everything that was being asked, the answer was, I don't know. And I absolutely do not like to say, I don't know. I want to have an answer. I want to be able to say, okay, this is what you got to do. Do this, 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 and this. That didn't happen. We came to the practice. And at this practice, it was, they're going to do these songs, and Nate, you're going to record something. And it was a mess because there was no coordination. There was no direction. There was no, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We were supposed to record the day before. And that didn't happen because people were tired or they wanted to push it to the next day. And I just said, okay, I showed up. But when I showed up, I didn't show up with a game plan. I had relied on, oh, so-and-so had the idea to do it. We're going to go run with whatever they say. So-and-so, they had other things to do. They were focused on singing. And that's okay. I'm not saying it's so-and-so's fault. I'm not putting blame. No, the blame is on me as the leader. And I messaged my leaders. Let me tell you what I messaged my leaders, because this right here is so important to understand that when it comes to content creation, when it comes to any type of creation for social media, for a team, if you are a leader, so me, I'm a creative director here at House of Blessings. You could be the worship leader. You could be the creative leader or creative director. You can be in a lead position. This here was just the moment and opportunity for me to grow. This was a growth moment. This was the test. And when I tell you that it's something you will struggle with if you haven't already, but I came so frustrated, so defeated already. I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And it hurt. I was sitting here playing my Switch, waiting for somebody to direct me. Did you get that? The creative director was waiting for somebody else to direct them. Like, dude, come on. So this is what I said. I'm going to be completely transparent because it will happen to you if it hasn't happened already. So all my messages. Yeah, we need to finalize this worship night system ASAP because, hey, Nate's going to be running the worship night system. Now, this doesn't pertain to a lot of the editing or how these videos were created, but this was the catalyst to making these videos. And that's why this is important. Because you're going to struggle with something similar if you haven't already, or if you're not struggling with it right now. But this was the catalyst to God giving me the vision and to me executing the vision that God gave me. So what happened from my leader, Delilah? Just last minute stuff, lack of communication, too many I don't knows. And that's from multiple people, not just from me, but from multiple people. And it gets frustrating. From who? Worship team? Yeah. So I'm working on getting that system down. If I'm going to be in charge of the worship nights, too many hands right now. It just needs to be how we said Monday, only the coordinator. So this is me like, hey, okay, in my wow, nobody knows what's going on. I just got to figure it out mentality. Now, this is the part, are you feeding your flesh? Are you feeding your spirit more? This was like the carnal Nate here. This was the gosh, I'm done. I don't know. It happens, but don't let it take control. Don't let it overwhelm you. And then even the filming, I still have no clue what's happening. This is still me. I was supposed to be filmed. So and so asked me how that's going to happen. I said, I have no clue because I haven't been told of a game plan yet. Again, the creative director not coming in with a game plan. Red flag. If you're a director, whether you're creative, worship, production, if you come into a position or a practice and you are the director or leader of a specific ministry and you don't have a plan already, that's also a red flag. You have to make sure you have a plan. And so I'm choosing joy, but I really dislike that my answer is I don't know. And that's true. I really didn't like that my answer was I don't know. That's something for me that it really irks me. I being in this position, being in the leadership position, and somebody's asking me, hey, well, this. It's like, oh, I don't know. There's a the difference between I don't know because I don't have that information yet, and I don't know because I just haven't prepared yet because I didn't take on the responsibilities of my role. And so your role as a leader is to always come prepared. What does that look like? Praying beforehand, asking God for vision, communicating with your team and the other teams that you're partnering with for these practices. We didn't do that. We tried, we dabbled it. Granted, this is only our second worship night that we've done this year. And so we're still learning, we're still developing. And yet there still needed to be some type of communication, some type of partnership. All right, worship team, I'm going to be doing this, and this. All right, production, I'm going to be doing this, and this. What are you going to be doing? So having that constant communication, it's key. So being prepared to have a plan for your ministry or for your team. Now, shout out to the worship team because worship team, they just went with it. Shout out to Drew, April, Natasha, Gabby, like you guys, y'all just went with it. I started putting stuff up there, and I'll go over that in a bit, but that's what it means to be a united team. I'll get there. So I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Delilah, and this is where you need to understand who your leaders are. And you have to be willing to go to them in the time of need, in the time of struggle, in the times when you just feel so low. This is where you need to be, okay, like I need help. And I may not have said I needed help, but my complaining showed that I needed help. Not saying you need to complain all the time, but I just wasn't seeing clearly. And so my leader, Delilah, she spoke life into me. So, this is me. Yeah, we were supposed to film last night, which is why I was choosing joy last night. It's funny because, we're supposed to choose joy. Don't do it sarcastically. Oh, I'm choosing joy. No. Like, authentically, realistically, choose joy. There's moments that are going to come that are going to be very difficult to handle, but you have to choose joy. You have to continue to love. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Use it. And so, yeah, I choosing joy because I brought some stuff out the night before, and they're like, nope, we're not going to do it. And I was like, great. Already, boom, started off bad. I wasn't choosing joy, even though I said it. I was still frustrated. I'm patiently waiting, though, they're warming up. And this was Delilah to me. Well, then take charge and figure it out so that your answer is not, I don't know. Be the solution, be the lead. Don't get frustrated. It's like that because you haven't fixed it. Ask questions without frustration and with kindness and understanding. Now, I was sitting back here and carnal Nate, the old Nate was just like, it was there. It was reaching up like, oh, no, yeah, say this, say that. And I was just like, no, no, no. Delilah, you're so right. Because as leaders, we should be able to take the lead. We like if you've been put in a position by your pastor or by your leadership, hey, you are in charge of X, Y, and Z, you should have the authority to say, okay, I'm going to plan with X, Y, and Z or for X, Y, and Z in this ministry. We're going to do this, this, and this. That was the unlock I needed because I came with the mindset of, oh, they're going to do it. I'm going to be directed. No, that is the wrong mindset. I'm the director. I should come ready with a plan. I should come ready with the answers. And if I don't have the answers, I should know where or how to get them. We should know where or how to get them. We should come prepared with a plan every time. And so it doesn't stop there. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. My God, like that hit me so hard. And I was like, okay, so I don't have the systems in place. Let's start to put them. Let's start to implement. Let's start to develop those systems. And again, and I don't use this as an excuse, but we haven't really done worship nights. And so, cool, let's work on that system. We are failing in this area because we don't have a system in place, so create one. Aren't you the creative lead? LOL. Yeah, laugh out loud because I am the creative lead. You are the lead, the creative lead, or the worship lead, or production lead. And we're here flustered and frustrated and just, ugh. No, come prepared. Come ready to bring something to the table, whether it's at a practice, whether it's, shooting. And in this case, it's filming promotional content for an event. Like it started here. The videos I posted, the ones that I showed in the beginning, those didn't come from Nate saying, okay, I got this. I've planned it out. No, it came from my leader speaking life into me because I was in a place of frustration. I was in a place of confusion and loss because I just didn't know what direction to go. Why? It's because I didn't pray before. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you are partnered with God in every aspect of your ministry. For this, it's being in connection and in partner with God for this content. In order to promote these videos, the things that I post and create, they're not going to do much or have much impact if I'm not partnered with God. And so it was here that I learned, okay, one, you got to have a plan, be prepared. Two, that plan needs to come from God. Like, it will. You just have to partner with Him. You have to pray. And then three, go to your leaders. Whenever you feel lost, whenever you feel down, whenever you just feel like you're in a hole, you're struggling, you have to communicate to your leaders. And this is for everybody across the board. Whether you're a leader, whether you're just a team member, go to your leaders in the time of need. You have to be willing and open to tell them what's going on. If you can't, then you will continue to stay stuck. That is a guarantee. I promise you, you will continue to stay stuck. So follow those 3 steps. Those are important. So after Delilah told me that, and then she threw, you ain't ready to be a creative pastor, losing your joy so quickly. And that's something that we joke about it, but realistically, I agreed. I said, you're 100% right. Like, I can't be the creative. Like, no, I've lost my joy so fast. And so, and it was here where I was like, okay, gotta take control. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then it hit. Stop saying I. It's not a me thing. It's a we thing. And in my previous podcast with Ernie, I was saying the same thing. Like, we got to stop. Oh, I got to figure it out. I got to do. No. It's already been figured out. The plan's already there. You just have to go to the right person. You have to go to God. And so I was like, okay, I can't do this. Like, I agree with her. I need to truly choose joy. I need to truly, like, I need to surrender real quick. And so that's where I began to pray. And I prayed right over there. So I'll be right back. So it was right over here. Let me see if I can turn this. Oops. Might be a little overexposed. But it was right over here in these benches, this chair, that while they were practicing and everything, I said, okay, God, it's you. You need to give me the vision. I know you have something for me. And I apologize. I said, God, forgive me because I was doing this all on my own. I had completely taken you out of it, and that's why I was getting so frustrated. That's why I was so lost. And I promise you guys, like, it is incredible what happens when you partner with God. I sat here, I kneeled here, and I said, all right, God, I need joy right now. The joy of the Lord is my strength. So please show me what that joy looks like. Don't just give it to me, but show me. What does that look like to be joyful so that they'll catch on, so that the worship team will feel it? Give me the vision that you want, because the vision you give me is what's going to work. It's what's going to reach the thousands of people who see it or view it or like it or share it. It's going to reach the people who want to know about this worship night. It's going to touch the hearts of the people who watch it. And so I pray, like, God, give me that vision. Give me the direction in which you want me to go. Instantaneously, I saw a light, I saw a person, and I saw a chair. Oh, Nate, that's not so much to go on. Hold on. So that was the beginning of it. Like, I saw that, and I was like, all right, God, show me some more. Show me some more. And then, boom, in my head, hey, you want to get them sitting individually, and you want to film each one doing their own solo. And I said, boom, let's go. Like, I love it. Let's do it. And so from there is where, as the worship team's practicing, getting prepared, I didn't wait for anybody to tell me, okay, Nate, it's your turn. Go, bring your stuff up. No. I just did it because God gave me the direction. And when God gives you the direction, you got to listen. You have to obey. And so I started pulling up the chairs from the lobby and placing them up on the stage. And, I don't know if you can really see the stage. It's pretty dark in here. I just have the one light, but I was going up and putting stuff on the stage and then coming back, and they're just kind of looking at me, and it's like, all right, cool. And shout out to Drew, because Drew, dude, you're amazing. Drew is one of our worship leaders, and he was just like, look, Nate, you just tell us what to do. You direct us. And I was like, dang, yeah, like I have to direct you. Okay, cool. So I was like, all right, God, let's direct. Let's work together on this. Keep showing me the vision that you are wanting me to put out there. And so, like I said, from vision to visual, I saw it. God showed it to me. And then I was like, okay, let me just play around while they're practicing. And so I'll show that video of how I was playing around with Drew, the clip, like editing and everything like that. And so I threw the light up. I was like, oh, I love a little bit darker and moodier kind of videos. And so I was like, okay, let me just work with one light. Let me just play around with it, because lighting is everything. So I threw the one light on Drew and got some quick footage just to test out, because you don't want to just throw stuff up and then not test it out. It's always good to have your computer on the side, ready to go, Final Cut, Premiere, DaVinci. If you're shooting S-Log or C-Log or whatever type of log you're shooting in, you want to make sure that you have a computer ready to just test the footage. Excuse me. So I tested the footage. And when I tell you, like, the vision that God showed me, crazy. It was crazy. The vision that God showed me was exactly how Drew looked up there. Now, was it the exact position? No. But the look, the feeling of it. And I was like, dang, all right, God, that's it. That's what we're going for. And so I said, okay, I got that look down. I threw it in the threw the clip in my Mac and I was editing, like, okay, let me play around. And I threw my Rec 709 conversion LUT, and then I use a LUT called Kodak. It's from like Full Time Filmmaker or something like that. I've had it for a while, but it kind of gives it more of like a greenish old vibe type, like retro vibe in a way. And so I threw that on. I was like, oh, dang, this is sick. And so, but that doesn't include the actual final color grade, which I'll talk about when we start editing, because that in itself was all God. That in itself was just, oh, boom, mind blowing. But I'll get there. So when I saw that, I got excited. I said, okay, God, this is it. This is the vision. This is what we're going to do. And so that's what you guys saw in the beginning of this video, was how I sat them down, how I lit them up with the lights, and then we'll get to color grading shortly. But this section is really just to show you, like, we're not perfect. We're going to fall. We're going to struggle. We're going to fail sometimes. We're going to come into church frustrated, annoyed. We'll say we choose joy, but we won't truly choose joy. And so I hope this is a very encouraging part to any of the leaders out there, or maybe even team members who come to church and who are just feeling that weight of, oh, I'm not important, or I shouldn't be doing this. No. You should be doing it. God has called you into this position, into this ministry to do it. And so if you're a leader, whether it's worship, creative, production, whether it's even a business, like, we have positions in business, and if you're showing up without anything to show, without any plans, any preparation, you're already going to get behind, and you're already going to feel that frustration, that anger, that self-doubt of, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared, I can't do this. Everything that I was feeling in the beginning. Come prepared with a plan. Partner with God. And I promise you, things will go better. They won't always go smoothly, but they will go better. And then that better will turn into going smoothly, because you're following the vision that God has given you. So I hope this portion helped somebody out. Please, if you have any questions or comments on anything that was said or discussed, throw it down in the comments. We're now going to go over to the next portion, which is going to be our from SD card into our computer and editing software. So I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so now we're back here in the studio, and I'm going to show you guys the best that I can, step by step, of going through the process of how we edit everything for the worship night videos. So first things first, when I do my editing for anything on Final Cut, I use an external solid state drive. So this right here is a 2 terabyte G drive, which I'll throw in the link, I'll throw in the description as well. And so what this does is it helps my projects not slow down my computer. Everything is saved to the SSD, and it runs and edits off the SSD. So I'm just opening the program on the Mac, but all my project and files are saved to the solid state drive. Now, just a side note here, SSDs are more expensive than the hard drives. And so something like this Lacey, this is an HDD, and this is one of the rugged ones. Because usually the hard drives like this, they have the disk that's spinning inside, so moving parts that can be easily damaged. This is the rugged, I believe, rough or rugged version, so you can take this with you. It's durable, but for the most part, these are the ones that you just want to kind of keep still at home in a place. If you're looking for something more faster to store or faster to edit on, that's going to be a solid state drive. Some really good ones are the Samsung T9, Samsung T7. Those are like really, really good solid state drives. And then the G drive by SanDisk. I've been using this for the last couple years. It has done wonders for me. So I will throw some of those in the description as well. Links to those on Amazon or Best Buy. And Black Friday was yesterday, so I'm sure a lot of great deals are going on from now till Christmas time. So this would be the time to explore and see what you can get. But all right, So looking here at the computer, so we are here on my G Drive SSD. These are all my some of the audio I've downloaded. A lot of the stuff when I'm editing, I'll save directly to this G Drive or this SSD drive, just so I know it's in one place. And here's all of my, we got Christmas promo.
So where you're at, feel free. It goes. All right, guys. Welcome back to the creative.
A test run of the video that you're watching now. So I have everything here. Everything here. And then down here is my Final Cut Pro project, which it's already open. And so I'm going to show you guys what it looks like to import. So I'm going to take what we just filmed, which was the catalyst for all of this. I'm going to put that into my SD card slot on my MacBook Pro. If you don't have an SD card slot, well, looks like this doesn't work either. You are going to want to get a dongle. This dongle does not have an SD card slot on it. This is HDMI, USB-A, and USB-C. I do have a Type-C dongle somewhere, but I don't have it with me. But I'll throw a link to that as well. There's a lot of links that are going to be in this video. So yeah, this is just everything that I use and everything that I do to create just one, maybe 30-second video. And it is a lot. And so I plugged in the SD card into the Mac. And so it shows me the videos that are on it currently. So any videos that you've shot on this SD card will pop up in this media import. Sorry, April. In this media import window. And so over here in the top right corner, add to existing event. Yep, we're going to add to the creative drip because that's what we're editing for. You could create a new event in like a new library. So here, if I wanted to create something new, event name, you can put like worship promo, and then you could hit enter. And you want to make sure copy to library for all the files. You don't want to leave the files in their place because then you would need the SD card in your computer the whole time to actually use and edit. So you want to make sure you copy to the library, which will then copy to the solid state drive. Analyze video. I keep all of this just how it is. I'll go add to existing event, which is a creative drip. And then this is the one I want to import. And then import selected. And so up here in the top left corner, we have the background tasks. So it's importing media. So this gives you a percentage of like how long it's going to take from 0 to 100%. And now we wait on that. So as we're waiting on that, for those of you who do use Final Cut Pro, I've used DaVinci, I've used Premiere Pro, and I've used Final Cut. Used them all. Switched over to Final Cut once I got a MacBook. Premiere and DaVinci Resolve were used way back when I had a Surface laptop. Yeah, that far back. So you have all of your projects here on the left-hand side, which my mouse is kind of going crazy over. Yep, over here. All your projects, and each project has all of your videos and your, it says projects up here, but these are your events. So think of it like the big folder, and then within this folder, within this event, you have all of your projects. So all of the videos that you are making are within that event. And so for the creative drip, I have the YouTube trailer, content to cache experience, being the content, IG questions. So things that I've just been creating for the creative drip. I like to keep all the projects that I can per event. So if you're shooting a wedding, if you're shooting a church event, if you're doing promotions, we have the pre-roll that we created. I keep all of that, all the clips, everything within this event. So the creative drip, we're going to do that. And you would go, oh man, Nate, I don't know how to make an event or a project. Don't worry. First thing you'll do is you'll hit File, New. And then you can make an event or you can make a project. So for example, we'll do event, and then we'll just do test event for YouTube. Cool. And then library, projects library. Okay. Boom. Test event for YouTube now appears on the left-hand side. Once you do that, then you'll go up to File, New again, and then project or Command N. Once you create that project, then this will come up. So this will be test video, any event. So you get to choose which event it's going to be in. Starting time code. So if all your stuff has been time coded, you can sync it all up there. Video. So is it 4K, 5K? These are all the different video formats. Vertical is if you're shooting or editing content for social media. So Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or TikTok. You would go vertical. And then depending on what you're shooting, I usually shoot at 4K, so I'll select the highest resolution. And then I'm usually shooting 24 frames per second. Now, this can change depending on how you're shooting. 4K, you have all these other formats, frame rate depending on 24 to 60. I usually stick to 24. That's just what I do. Unless I'm shooting something with more action and movement in it, then I'll switch it to 60 FPS or 60p. So, and then once you're done, like, okay, I like the settings, stereo, 48, Apple ProRes, hit okay, and then boom. Then you select that, and then here's your timeline down here on the bottom. So, going to the creative drip, our project is going to be Worship Night Breakdown. So we're going to double click, and here's my timeline with the video. And you'll have a nice display. So I like to make this smaller. The projects or events tab smaller so I can see my kind of library of clips right over here on the left. Everything I've been shooting, especially now, is all in S-Log3. And so it really has no color to it. So if I turn these effects off, this is what the footage looks like by itself. And this is the beginning of the video you're watching. So we're going to actually edit the video of the video you're watching. Sorry. Always got to have some type of coffee. So now we filmed this yesterday, and I'm trying to, listen to my coach, and as much as I can without any cuts or any different edits. Gonna have to edit some audio, but let's throw in what we just imported, which was, I like to call it the catalyst video. And that's gonna be kind of the next chapter. And so you're just gonna, I'll do that again. You're just gonna find it in your library here, click and drag to your timeline. Now in Final Cut Pro, they have magnetic timelines. So it doesn't matter where you put it on the timeline, it'll automatically click to the last clip. You can lift it up though, and you'll see this placeholder here. And so for the placeholder, you'll see all this. Sorry, you'll see this gray bar as a placeholder for the timeline. Anything above that placeholder or above the timeline, it will not click together. So be wary of that. But anything that's on the timeline, it will click. So if, let's say here, B is my cut tool or blade tool. Click, I'll hit backspace to delete that, automatically shifts. So for this video here, this is everything we filmed. I'm going to go into my effects. So over here on the right hand side, you have transitions and you have effects. In order to get this video here in the preview to look something or similar to all of this stuff, again, lighting, the color grading, I'm going to have to go in and go to effects. So top right corner, it's going to be right here with the little squares on top of each other. And I'm going to go down to color. Once I hit color, then you're going to go to custom LUT. Now let's see, usually when I drag it the first time, it'll give me like the beach ball of doom. Okay, it didn't. We're going good. So I'll drag 2 because the custom LUT, they happen to come in layers. So you'll put your Rec 709 first, then the LUT, and then any color grading that you're wanting to have afterwards. So for this, I have all these different LUTs, and it's a bunch. The main one, though, is this S-Gamut 3 Cine S-Log 3 to LC 709 Type A. that will take the video from looking like this, all washed out in gray, to some color. Now, it's not the best color, but it's color. Then I'll go into a custom LUT again. So, when you drag the custom LUT onto your clip, I'll go there. And then I've been using the CG Kodak LUT by Full Time Filmmaker. Completely forgot where I got this from exactly. I don't know if I purchased it or if it was just part of a free package that they were promoting. But that is the LUT that I really, really like. It's on a lot of my videos. But this still doesn't match all of this. Like that, I can change this clip here. And there we go. Now it'll have that look, that kind of greenish, brownish Kodak look. But it was this color wheel that this was a God moment here. That color wheel was created by God. I'm going to throw it out there. I know it sounds funny, but literally I was just editing. I was putting some stuff together. I was on a Zoom call with my brother. I will find the video. Let me see if I can find that. But when I get more into the color grading portion after this import and everything, I'll show that video if I can find it. That I was just conversing with my brother, and it was late at night, and I was just kind of done. I was tired, and this is what I want your guys' videos to look like. Like I can do this, and this. Oh, and he was just asking questions about the color grade, and I was like, okay, cool. And it just happened. Oh, you move this, you move that, you move this. And it just happened. It literally was a God moment because I don't remember how I got there. I don't remember how I got this look. All I remember is that I was just wherever my hand moved and boom. But I'll find that and I'll throw it in here.
That's super short. Is this one a little bit longer? Yeah. And then like I did this.
So when you're dragging and dropping, it's already auto it's already throwing in your filter?
No, I'm copying and pasting. So I did this one as a test last night.
Yeah.
So I threw my LUT here. So let me show you what it looks like without it. So that's what it looks like without the LUT and without
Yeah.
the look. I'll do the same thing here. And so I filmed it on my camera. It shows it on my camera. It'll show it like this.
Mhm.
So I can see kind of what the look is. And then in post, I'll add it. It'll come in like this. And then I'll add my color. And then I'll add my LUT,
Okay.
my filter. And so it all starts off like this.
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to, I can be like, okay, let's add that. Let's add this. And then open this up. And let's do color wheels. And I can say, all right, let's do, globally. Let's add a little bit more saturation. The shadows, I can bring them up, bring them down.
The red looks crazy.
That red,
Like,
that red pops, dude.
yeah.
So I can continue to mess around. And then if it's like, hey, we want more of like a green tint, or hey, more red tint, more purple, bluish,
Yeah.
mid-tone. So I can go in and play. I don't really play with the color grading too much. That looks pretty good. Now you'll see the difference. So
Yeah.
that that
That's nice.
really,
It's a little grainy, but it's not bad.
yeah, just because of the color grade.
Yeah.
But if I take that color grade off, it'll be nice. And if I take that off,
Yeah.
the playback might look grainy too, because I don't do 100% playback, only when it's paused. And that's without the LUT. That's just the color wheels.
Uh-huh.
And then that's with the LUT.
That's tight. I like the full setup.
You like the what?
I like with the color wheel too.
Oh yeah. Thank you. That's just me playing around. I had no clue
I
about
know, but it still comes out.
it. Yeah. And then I'll do copy and then I'll paste and it'll change it. So like I can delete that. over here, Command copy over here, paste, and it'll do it. And that's it.
Ooh, like that.
Easy.
That's disgusting. Like that.
I don't like that.
Huh? You don't like it, huh?
I didn't like that one. This is my Kodak filter. So it's supposed to have like that kind of vintage look to it too. Dude,
Yeah.
that's crispy. That's crispy, man.
That color roll you did,
Dude, I don't know what the heck I did, but
but it
that's
was clean though.
crispy. Oh, dang. Dang.
You have to save that.
Here. All right. So in order to get that whole look, I am going to copy and paste. So I'll click on this here. I'm going to delete the custom LUT, delete the custom LUT again. So we're now back at a S-Log3 look. And from here, I'm going to simply click on a clip that has the Rec 709 conversion LUT. It has the CG Kodak LUT, and then it has the color wheel. So I'm just going to do Command C for copying, and then click the clip that I want to have color graded, and I'm going to do Option Command V, and there it is. Now this is a little bit darker because I only had one light and it wasn't really too close or even that powerful. But that is the look. So without it, it'll be green. With it, it gives it more of this, you know, cooler tones, a little bit darker, moodier. But down here, we can see on our timeline, I'm going to zoom in, which is Command plus. All of this is peaking. So if I play it, it might be really loud.
This right here is
so it's loud. So I'll do that. It's music enhanced in case we have music, but I'm going to bring it down just until all the yellow, all the peaking is gone. And so still a little bit of peaking. Let's keep bringing it down just a little bit more. Right there.
They were focused on singing, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's so-and-so's fault. I'm not putting blame. No, the blame is on me as the leader. You know,
and then you know, with AI and all the new stuff nowadays, we can add in a voice isolation. So you'll hear a little bit of the
leaders, because this right here is so important to understand.
So there's a little bit of noise in the background. So voice isolation will help clear some of that up. I don't like to do a whole lot because let's say I move it to like 100.
I'm not saying it's so-and-so's fault. I'm not putting...
And it makes it sound very robotic. I don't really like that. So the highest I'll usually go is 60, but I think 50% sounds pretty good. Don't want it to sound robotic or weird. And so that's how you import your clips into Final Cut Pro. Now, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to pull away from this video. I'm going to go back to, let's find it here. Is it Pods with Earn? Worship Night Breakdown. Be the Content. Gunther's. Oh, no, sorry. It's actually in its own event. So Worship Night. We're going to go to Worship Night. And we're going to do Countdown Reels. So these reels here. So everything that's here, this is the final product. We're going to go to this untitled project. And this is where I actually took everything in, color graded it, all that good jazz. So let's go with April. I really, really loved April's video. So we're just going to play it real quick. So I don't want to get copyrighted at all. I don't think I might. So I'm going to just lower the volume on that. But let's look at the effects first, the color grading. So this is what it looked like in S-Log. Complete S-Log, there's nothing there. And then, you know, we put the effects back on. We throw on the Rec 709 conversion. And then we'll throw on the Kodak look. And then boom, the final color. The red really pops. I love the background, the light on her face. Like, it just looks really good to me. Absolutely loved that. And so I did this for each singer. And for each singer, we filmed probably about, I want to say anywhere between 4 to 8 minutes. So like the entirety of the song done over and over. And so what I do in order to clip everything and make sure like we have it is I'll go through and I'm holding the camera at this time and I'm moving back and forth, moving around the individual. I've muted, so if you can't hear anything, that's okay. I muted it so we don't get copyrighted. But I will chop it up. And that's where these black squares, these custom squares come in. Because then I would say, okay, this is a good 21-second clip. Possibly, I could be using that one. And there are some factors that go into it. What are their facial expressions? Is my movement smooth enough? Is the intensity of the song there? Like, do I feel something? If you feel something from the song, I guarantee you the people watching it will feel something too. So there are a few different things that go into that. And so as you're here editing, and it can get tedious because it's a lot. And so you're here, all right, she's, show me your face, Lord. All right, let's see. In the ark of your presence. So she's singing one of the verses here. And I was like, okay, well, that might have been a good clip. Let's space that out. And so I'll cut in areas that I think are going to be good clips. They won't be the final clips. They're just, okay, this would be good. This would be good. Let me just, chop it up and leave it here. And so I did that for every single singer. And we can see here, April's goes on for about 3 minutes. And then we have Drew's. And I think this was just, I know. Okay, so we'll take that off right now. And then we have Drew. Same thing with Drew. I chopped up. I didn't put the black spaces in between his. His was like the first one I edited and had some fun with. But I know where the cuts are, and so each cut is like its own section. And then I was playing around with what I showed you guys. So back to kind of selecting. I was chopping everything up piece by piece, and I try to stick to about 15 to 30 seconds. Realistically, you're going to be looking at 20 to 30 seconds for a singing clip, because the chorus or the verses or the bridge, like, you really want that intensity there. You really don't want to cut it off at an awkward spot. And so you're looking at 20 to 30 seconds. 15 if it's a short verse and it's really good and it's really powerful, great. Most of these are upwards of 30 seconds. And so I believe it was this one that I chose. I was like, man, it feels powerful. It looks powerful. I felt something, and multiple people that I showed felt something from it too. And so I want to say it was this one. I'm going to bring up the volume just a little bit. Yeah. And so she's singing, the movement as she's singing it, as she's saying her lyrics. I think just the intensity that's there is such a great intensity. And then I even cut it off at the end. So, and I'll fade it out. So you don't want to give the entire song. You don't want to, you want to fade it out so that there's more left to the imagination, I guess you can say. Oh, that's it. I want to hear it again. Or, I want to be there to hear more, because you want to create that FOMO as well. So you don't want to give them the whole song, but you want to give enough to grasp them and to pull them in. I think this was this one was the actual one that I used, but I chopped it up for a different video that I posted on Instagram. Yeah. The intensity, the power's there, and it is a powerful, and then fade to black. So it's there. It's just playing around with it, and this is everything it takes to edit a video and create those countdown reels and everything. And this is just the basics. This is the beginning portion of that. There's still the color grading, which we kind of went over, so that's should be a little bit easier. So the separating, the order, the okay, which clips look the best or sound the best, and then doing that for each singer. So we did that for April, and then we did that with Drew. I surrender all to you. See, and if you are both camera and videographer and editor, you have to be wary of your movement. And so a lot of the movement that's being shown, it's handheld, and people like the handheld look. It's still a little bit more popular than the gimbal look, but I think it just adds a sense of, oh, I'm there. Like I'm walking around. I'm there in person. I'm moving around this individual singing. That's just my personal opinion. But you want to make sure as you're moving, wider shots are great for establishing, where they're at, how the look is. Moving in, just like that, moving into Drew's face and then coming back out. But you just have to be careful of the constant moving, making sure you're stable, the camera's a little bit more stable. You don't want it to be like, oh, I'm filming, and then and it just goes all over the place. I'm sure I did that a couple times. But you want slow movements. Pace yourself. Back and forth, side to side. And so I'll work on a video of what movements look like for videography, especially for something like this, because we do have more coming up. But back to this video. This is, again, just me playing around with the clips. We've separated it here. So I believe it was right here that I actually started the final video. Nope. Right here. Okay, so again, chopping up Drew's video. Boom. That was the video that I used for the final. But then, again, here's another one. Just going through, watching it, it will get repetitive. And it could get annoying. Just, you got to push through it. Trust me. These videos, probably some of the best work I've done. And I had so much fun doing it. Like, you got to get, if you're sitting here watching this and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is such a drag, listening to the same thing over and over, go and pray and take a break. But you shouldn't get that burnt out from doing this. Yes, it can get exhausting. It can get a little frustrating because you're like, okay, I got to replay this. I got to listen to this again. But I promise you, if you can find joy in that, oh man, it goes by so fast. You are sitting here. I was sitting here for hours just typing, editing, and building this. And it was just, the excitement was there because I saw what the end result was going to look like. I just didn't know how to get there yet. And so a lot of it was playing around with, okay, does this look good? How does this sound? Oh, my camera, I messed up in the way I moved here. Okay, let me find a different area. And that's the joy of being the editor too, is you get to play around with it. You get to find what works. Take notes. I have my journal right next to me. And so if there's any notes, I'm like, okay, next time don't move this far. Don't do this. Like, I'll write it down. I'll have notes or even sticky notes. So be proactive in that so that the next time you do it, because there will be a next time, I promise you that there will be a next time, you have the notes, you have the direction, and you have a plan. You'll find the joy in it and you'll be prepared. You'll have a plan because you're now taking notes on, okay, get this angle, get that angle, or this is what I did last time, and this is just nothing crazy, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but more notes from the meetings we had on the debrief of, oh, we had our worship night. What did those videos look like? What does our next video look like? And just jotting down ideas for the next worship night or for the next event. Because I know, at least here at House of Blessings, we're going to do this again for one of our other main events coming up. How do we switch it up? How do we make it different, but also impactful? take notes, keep them. Now that's your plan. There's the system being built, the foundation of where to start. So your answers are not, I don't know. They're actually directional. So going back to this, yeah, it's going to get tedious. And we did that for each one of these videos. So we had Drew, and then I was playing around with some of the actual like practice videos. So this is just stuff like the as I was saying before, this is like the pre video I was working with, the test shots. And this was the actual shot here of Drew that got me to say, oh, that's what I want. Just a small little clip. Literally, let's see how long that is. That's from there to, I want to say there. Right? Oh no, a little bit more to that. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Boom. That's the shot. So we went back with April, playing around again. And then from April back to Drew. And then we did even a wide shot. So Gabby, Drew, and April. So you don't want to just get, okay, one and done. I'm April, okay, Drew, okay, Gabby, and then completely call it. You want to continue to just play with the shots you have while you have the people there. It sucks, and it does. It sucks to say, okay, we got it. You send everybody home, and it's like, wait, guys, we got to come back and film because I this, and this. Try to grab everything you can just in case. Oh, but that's a lot of storage. I know it's a lot of storage. I know it's a lot of filming, but you will be so much happier when you have those clips for end of the year projects, when you have those clips for pre-rolls, when you have those clips to use as promotion. You will be so much happier because you decided to hit record longer than what you expected. So have fun with it. Grab as much content as you can because all of it is content. And then same thing, we did with Gabby. So same thing with her, and then breaking her videos up and trying to figure out, okay, this was a shorter one. That was good. Okay, this was a little bit longer. I think that one was good. All of that. Okay, and you can see on my timeline how long hers went. And hers was pretty lengthy. Hers was probably the longest one we had. And again, it's just going through and finding those clips. And so once you have those clips, this is step, I don't even know what step we're on, but this is the next step in that editing process, is finding those final clips. Once you find those final clips, let's swipe out. We're going to go back to my SSD. You'll see how many there were. So there's Drew 1, Drew 2, April 1, April 2, April 3. This was me doing, I called it cooking 1 because I was showing the process. Cooking 2. Gabby 1, Gabby 2, Gabby 6. I somehow got to 6 with her. That just shows how many different versions there were. Gabby 7. This was the Unstoppable set list I was playing with. And then countdowns. So we're not going to go there yet. But each one was dropped. And then from there, I actually posted on the burner account. So I have a burner account, and if you don't have a burner account, make one, because this is where all my posts go just to test out. And so here you can kind of see just the amount of videos that I posted of these to kind of get that final look. So let's go back to Final Cut. Once we have our clip and we have, April 1, I think. Yeah, so we used this one of April's. So we found April's, and then we found Drew's. That's the one we used of Drew. And then Gabby. No. We used one of those for Gabby. And so Then we went from the untitled project. Let me just rename this. So this was the, this was color and separate. So this was the color grading and the separation of the clips. Now we're going to go to the actual countdown. So I'll give that a second to load. All right. Here's where it got tedious. So I showed my uncle, I want to say I showed Vince. Oh man, look at all this. Okay, countdown. So I showed Vince this first. Okay. Yeah. So I showed Vince this video. I was like, okay, here's what I have so far. It was Kingdom Come, Unstoppable Worship Night, Show Me Your Face, / Yahweh. So the song they're singing with the title of the event on top. And this was just a simple overlay. That was simply, I don't know if I have any examples of that. Let's do it right now. So we're going to grab this whole thing. So that was literally this. And so all I did was if we're looking at the timeline here, so these are the other elements that you'll have on your video, is the Yahweh, Show Me Your Face. So that's going to be the white font, which you can move up and down using the X and Y axis, or X and Y positioning over here. There's also this right here in the bottom left corner to let you transform it. Move it around with your mouse. You can make it bigger, smaller, flip it, whatever your heart desires in that aspect. But these are just the overlay elements. And so in order to get these, I had to, we're going to go to my projects. And this is where it's good to know multiple different, ideas, multiple different tools. And so the other tool that I used was Adobe Illustrator. Now we have a graphic designer who does all the graphics for us and then will send it to us. And so he sent us this, which I was like, hey, I need that setlist graphic. It was dope. And so all I did was I grabbed this Unstoppable Worship Night. I exported this as its own thing. So I'd go File, Export Selection, and it would export the selected, which is everything like highlighted in blue. And then I did the same thing for each song that they were singing. And I grabbed it and I'd export that. And so that's how I got those elements into here. Once I exported it, you want to make sure you're exporting it as a PNG. And so that allows you to also use a transparent background, which I'm able to then just drag and drop into Final Cut to have this overlay. So let's do that real quick. So Command Z, Command Z. And look, there may be a better way or faster way to do this, but this is just what I figured out as I was doing it because I was inspired. Got to get this done. Got to, put this out there. How do we make it different? So Show Me Your Face, Yahweh. So I'll pull that over here, pull it to the side. And then what I do is I actually go to Object, Transform, and I'll scale it. So I'll scale it to 200 to make sure it's bigger. So when I export it, I can shrink it down and it'll still have that higher quality. And I'll do File, Export Selection. Boom, there's the asset, and it's gonna export to HB Project. So all of my folders it'll go in. You can click this folder to actually figure out which location it's gonna be. And then PNG, 300 PPI, select the asset, export. You can replace it. Boom. Then you'll go into 300 PPI. And these are all the assets that I was able to export. 3 days left, 2 days left, show me your face with holding nothing. And then from here, I can, let's kind of minimize this real quick. And then I'll bring my files here. And all you do is you drag, let's just say I want show me your face, Yahweh. Where's the one I did today? Here we go. Today at 11:52. You'll drag it and you'll drop it into your library on the left-hand side. Boom, it's there. And then from there, you have it and you just drag and drop onto your timeline and it'll show up. And so I liked it more at the bottom. And then the Unstoppable Worship Night, the original was having it here in the middle, actually. So that's what it looked like the first video, right? So that's similar to what it was like. It's like, okay, we're going to put this on top. It's layered. Oh, it looks cool. At least I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, look at, oh, this is so cool. I like it. I like it. Showed it to Vin, who was my other leader. He is the original creative. For those of you who don't know, he was the OG creative. And he was like, all right, Nate, he's all, check it. So what if you can put that in the background? And I was like, dang, what if I could? And so I was like, all right, let me play around with it. Let me figure this out. Let me tell you, this is where it can get very tedious. The more complicated the video, the more time you're going to have to spend researching, developing, and training yourself on how to do things. So I was like, okay, well, Unstoppable, I think that will look good in the background. So we had it placed kind of right behind her head. And what I then did was create a mask. And in Final Cut Pro, if you go to your effects, we'll go all, and you type in magnetic mask. There it is. Magnetic mask. And what you'll do is you'll drop it onto your clip. And so let me show you. First, you want to copy your clip. So whichever clip you're wanting it to be behind, because it's layered. So your bottom layer is going to be the original. So the original April singing is this bottom one right here highlighted in yellow. So if I remove that, the whole background disappears. So that's your base. That is your foundation. So we don't want to delete that. We want to actually Command C and then over to the side, Command V and paste it. And then we'll bring that up. And this is, again, how I did every single video. And we'll make sure that they are aligned. So I'll zoom in. So that's Command plus, and I'll make sure the video is lined up. So when you play it, you don't hear any echo. There's not like, oh, it's off or milliseconds or whatever. You want to make sure that they are synced up. And then I'll just mute. I'll mute the top one because, again, the bottom one is my foundation. And from here, I'm like, okay, where'd it go? The Unstoppable, because it's in layers, you have your main layer, which is April, the foundation. But because I duplicated it, now she's also on top. So there's two videos of her. But you have the Unstoppable here, which I'm turning off and on. You can't see it. But that's in between these two layers. It's in between the two videos of April. So when the top layer is visible, you lose the Unstoppable graphic. And I'm hitting V for those of you who are in Final Cut Pro. I'm hitting V. V is to activate and deactivate your videos or your clips. And so I'm like, okay, I want to get it to where the Unstoppable Worship Night, is behind her head. So how do I do that? Took me probably about 5 or 10 minutes to figure it out. Went to YouTube because I've never masked before this. I've always heard about it. I've dabbled in it, but I've never actually masked a video. And so you duplicate your foundational video, you put that on top to have the graphic in between, because that's where you're wanting it. You're wanting it in between her and the background. And so you grab this magnetic mask and start a little bit closer to the beginning of the clip. So make sure your little, I forgot what this is, but your pointer, your timeline, yeah, I don't know what that's called. That thing right here is up closer to the front. You grab your magnetic mask and you drop it onto the video. Then you're going to have this all show up here, analyze, plus, minus, X, over here, magnetic mask. And all you're going to do is literally click on your subject. So I'm clicking on April. There we go. And see, all this red is what it's going to be selecting. And so what I'll do is I'll go into the minus and I'll make sure, okay, certain things are not selected because I want it to just be her. I don't really want much of the background. I don't really want much of the chair. And so sometimes like here is good. Specifically her face and shoulders and microphone. Because as she's moving and singing, that's where this is going to be masked at in the back. It's going to be on that upper portion of her. So like chest, microphone, hand, and head all need to be masked in order for this to kind of like be see-through in or see-through behind her. So once you kind of get what it looks like here, then you hit analyze. And so now Final Cut Pro is going to go and analyze, see how it's, oh, okay, that whole left-hand side, it's all red. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that's where you go in like frame by frame, fixing it. And so you can see all in this corner over here on this left-hand side, it's still filled with red, which could be a problem for us. But we'll see. We'll find out right now. So we're just waiting now. Almost done. It's a lot of patience too. As you're learning this and as you're playing with it, you are going to learn that it takes patience. It takes a little bit of, strength to push through. Ooh, look at that. Like all that red up there. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but it's going to take some strength to push through a lot of that waiting, that patience. You're going to have strength to be like, okay, Nate, be patient, or whoever you are, be patient, because you're waiting. Sometimes the analyzing, it'll look good and you're like, yeah. Oh, that looks great. And then boom, it blows out and you're like, dang it. Now I got to go in frame by frame. It can be very, very tedious, but push through it. If you want higher quality videos, better videos, things that are popping in, showing out, like whatever that looks like for you, it's going to take patience. It's going to take time. And you're just going to have to play around with it. So, yes, step away from the computer every now and again. Take a break. Don't just be stuck to it. But just know you got to persevere through it. That's the word. Persevere. That strength kind of whatever. So, then when you're done, you hit done and boom, it'll remove it. So now, if you play it, the unstoppable is behind her. And so we'll see just how, okay, so we have, and that's going to be the other thing that, and in all honesty, I'm still trying to work out, I'm still trying to fix, is stuff like this. So if we look at the back of her head, her hair, because her hair has like little strands on top, they probably weren't the strongest mask, and so there goes in and out. See that right there? See, we have her whole head, and then some of her head is missing, and so stuff like that is what can become very tedious. But if we watch it, it's going good. It's going good. I wouldn't have it on that last end strip there. This was my final version of it, was this one, which I think I did a little bit better on. It still had some hair glitches, on top and bottom. But this is what the final product looked like. And so some small little masking glitches over here on the top corner, but you know, sometimes it won't always be perfect, and that's just, you got to be okay with that. And so that was great. That's how we did the mask. And then lining everything up. This is what the other tedious part was. Okay, let's line everything up. And so it disappears. So we have the unstoppable and show me your face disappear. So that is just going to be a simple cross dissolve right here. So if you go into your transitions, dissolves, it's going to be a cross dissolve. And that's all I did on both the show me your face and on the unstoppable night. Let that cross dissolve. And then I brought in another cross dissolve for the worship night tonight. Now, this one was a little bit of an older model because I did switch it for like Natasha's video. Same thing, we had the mask. We layered her so she's on the foundation. Then we have our unstoppable graphic. Then we have her masked. Then we have the song title. And then I added just something a little bit different. And that's having the actual day zoom in on the screen while the other two faded slowly. And then leaving it to a black screen with the 2 days left. So for that, I'm going to click on that. Let's see. I added, this one was a zoom effect. So if I go to effects, whoops. I don't know if I can, was it this one? Yeah. So I forgot where I got this one too, but this was just another, it was an auto zoom in, and I drag and dropped it onto the clip. And then from there, that's how we got the slow zoom in appear, cross dissolve to fade in, and then the zoom in. Now, you don't need that zoom in effect to do it. You can actually, if I, let's see, let's grab gratitude, for example. And so gratitude, you can actually throw on a transition. Let's pray I do this right. We'll do dissolve, cross dissolve on that. And then it's going to come in. Yep. So we're actually going to want it to start off here. And we're going to do a, what was this called? Keyframe. Yeah, keyframe. Keyframe, so much fun. So we want it to start off here as that size. But then by the time it gets to the end, I want it to be like that. And then we can right click, show video animation, and there's that other keyframe. So now it'll zoom in on its own. So that's another way you can get it to zoom in. And it'll gradually zoom in until that keyframe hits. That's how it knows, okay, that's our stopping at 89% size. So that is another easy way. If you don't have like this effect of zooming in where you can just throw it on, keyframing is another way to do it. Keyframing can get tedious as well. You just got to play with it, learn it. Once you learn it, then you'll be good to go. And so for each one of these videos, and I pulled in for at least Natasha. Yeah, each one of these videos, I actually pulled in 2 or 3 clips I thought were the best. And Drew's, I didn't do anything for his first one, but his second clip, played with it, boom, we got that final product. April's, this one I knew, I was like, okay, this is the one for April. Played with it, got the final product, boom. Same thing with Gabby. Gabby had 3 that I played with, and this was also playing with that mask because Gabby's hair was very full, and the way I filmed it, some of the mask just wouldn't stay on her head. It was a little too dark and blending in with the background, so there was no separation for the mask, and so that kind of messed it up. So having more backlighting does help if you're wanting a mask, so it separates the actual background from your subject. And so I did it for every single one. Gabby, oh, four. We did four for Gabby, but I didn't, some I didn't use. And the same thing with Natasha. I did at least three. So at least 2 to 3 of each one. So we have some options. But that is my whole process of creating these worship night videos. Let's export one just so you guys can see how to export. So we'll export April. So when it comes to exporting, I like to do is, and I like to add those customs, those little black screens, both left and right sides, just so I have a start and stop point. And so I'll start here, but I do like to Command plus and zoom in a little bit so I can actually start off. I don't want to start black. I do not want my screen to start off black. I want it to start off with her in frame so there's some color. So I'll do that. And then I will do I for in. And then I'll scroll to the end of the clip. Right where Unstoppable Night, again, you don't want it to go black. You just want it to be there on the black background. And then I'll hit O for out. And then once I see that the timeline, so the timeline is what's being selected for the in and the out. Whenever that's selected, what's above that yellow square, that section you've selected, what's above it will also be exported. So again, it's layered on top. So you're actually exporting that main video or clip and the layers above it. So then I'll go to this top right corner, export file. We'll go settings, format computer, H.264. This is just, I do better. Like faster is great, but better just helps go and it passes a couple more times, helps your video, audio sound better, smoother. So I'll do H.264, the better version. Resolution, highest resolution I can. QuickTime player is fine. Standard Rec 709, and then I'll hit next. Once I hit next, it'll tell me where I'll go. It'll ask me where do you want to save it. So I'll go to the G Drive SSD, and then I'll rename it. So this was the, April YouTube tutorial. And then I'll hit enter and save. And then up here in the left-hand corner, that is where it is beginning to share. Now, this is all of my process and how I do this and how I go from vision to visual. And there is another step. There's actually another step. And I'll show you guys right now once this exports finally, or maybe 2 more steps. We're at 65%. And this is where your burner account on Instagram comes in. And hopefully if you have an iPhone, hopefully you are editing off of Mac. Windows is cool. I just prefer the Apple ecosystem. It is a lot better, a lot easier. And so once this shares, it'll actually open up on a window. It'll kick me out of Final Cut. Boom, there it is. I'll hit these arrows. Share, I'll airdrop it to myself. So this is the end process. I'll airdrop it to my phone. And once I airdrop it to my phone, okay, so now we'll go to my photos and we'll see, it should be there somewhere. Collections, recently saved. Oh, it's still sending. As you can see, I send a lot of videos to my phone. There we go. Did it come through yet? Almost done. AirDrop does take a while. There it is. So collections, recently saved. So then we'll see it there. Boom. Videos there. And then I'll say, okay, great. It looks cool. We will go to Instagram. And then this is on my burner account. And we'll go to Reel. And we'll post it. We'll hit next. Next. And then you don't need to do a caption or anything. I just hit share. And that's what all of these are. Like every single one of these is, there's something a little bit different in each video that I was just playing around with. And so I've posted Drew 8 times, Gabby twice, April 3 times. Natasha, luckily, she was at the end of it all. So I was like, okay, I already know how to do it. It's fine. I've done it so many times already. And so, boom. And it's posted, and then you click on it, and now you get to look like, oh, okay, you know, you're going to then see, oh, does it look good? Does it look bad? Do I need to change anything? And then if it's like, oh, I need to change Unstoppable, it's going off the screen, then you'll go back into Final Cut Pro and then change some of the sizing for stuff. And that's it. Once you've finalized what it looks like, once you finalized, like, okay, the looks are good, it fits the screen, all the other little stuff for social media, then you're ready to post. Create a caption, collaborate with your singers, collaborate with who's in the video, tag the people in the video as well. So post it. That is my beginning to end, from vision to visual, of our worship night videos. So if this helped you at all in any way, shape, or form, let me know in the description. Let me know if there's any other aspects of this that you're wanting to see, or if there's anything else that you've seen on my page or on YouTube that you may want me to go into a deeper explanation, or another kind of tutorial like this. I really hope this helps some of the creatives out there, whether it's for, you know, the creative team, social media team, worship team, or if it's for a business owner who's out there just trying to create content. This all applies to every type of creative out there. So thank you for watching this week. Thank you for watching this week's Creative Drip. Come back next week for even more videos, tutorials, and creative drips that we will be dropping. If you have any questions, comments, throw them down in the description. I can't wait to hear from you guys.